Dad, Mom. I think I'm gonna get a divorce because Mike went behind my back and got into debt. That's what Mia, my sister, said as she suddenly came back home. But it was hard to believe that the diligent Mike, who always took care of the selfish Mia, would get into debt without any explanation. I refused Mia's request to come back home. But then Harry came back and said, "What's the problem? Helping out when someone's in trouble is what families do, right?" Eventually, I was persuaded and had no choice but to accept Mia back. However, one day, Emily, my daughter, came to me with a tearful face and said, "Please divorce Dad."
What? What happened?
According to Emily, it seemed Harry got into debt for Mia. I confronted Harry, but he only made painful excuses. Harry's claim that he did it because he loves me and wanted to splurge was overshadowed by Emily's revelation.
But Dad told Auntie that, he married you because you make a lot of money, but he actually hates you.
That was the last straw for me. Thinking of getting back at Harry and Mia, I took Emily and ran away. My name is Lisa, and I'm a middle school teacher. I've been in this profession for 20 years, and at 42, I had been single and focused on my career until my mid-30s. Not that I didn't have any relationships. I had a boyfriend 2 years younger since high school. He's now my husband, Harry, well, technically an office worker. Technically because Harry can't seem to stick to any job for long. He hasn't been able to hold down a job since becoming an adult. The company he's currently with, he's been there for less than a year. I would have been fine staying single, but about 6 years ago, Harry, unable to find a job and abandoned by his parents, came to me, pleading, "Lisa, I can't live without you. Please, marry me." It was a pathetic proposal, but I couldn't leave him after all we've been through. However, even after we got married, Harry's life remained unstable, so we agreed to live with my parents as a condition for our marriage. And then, the next year, our daughter Emily was born. As a teacher, I went back to work soon after giving birth, leaving childcare mostly to my mother. That was the plan, but for some reason, Harry decided to quit his job at that time and declared, "I'll take care of the childcare." My parents were speechless, but they eventually agreed that childcare is indeed a parent's responsibility and didn't say anything more. Harry's dedication as a doting dad was something to behold, and now at 5 years old, Emily adores her dad. This loving side of Harry was, however, led in an unexpected direction by the presence of a certain person. One evening, while spending time with my parents at our home, we heard a voice from the entrance. "I'm home." The one who entered was my sister, Mia. Mia is 6 years younger than me, currently 36. She has been married for over 10 years but still doesn't have any children. Perhaps because she was the baby of the family, Mia was spoiled more than I was. Even after getting married, she couldn't shake off her single lifestyle and was always out having fun. I wondered what brought her back home today. Then Mia dropped a bombshell.
"Dad, Mom. I'm thinking about getting a divorce. Because Mike has gone and gotten himself into debt without telling me."
My parents looked incredulous. No wonder. The diligent Mike, who had always treasured the spoiled Mia, getting into debt without a reason was hard to believe. As her sister, I thought it best not to interfere too much and just listened quietly, but something didn't sit right with me. Listening along, John looked puzzled and asked Mia, "Aunt Mia, what's a divorce? What's debt?" "Emily, you don't need to worry about things like that." I hurriedly tried to calm the innocently curious John, but Mia answered anyway. "It's okay, sis. She'll understand it eventually. Listen, Emily, debt is a very bad thing. That's why your aunt is going to divorce Uncle Mike, saying goodbye because he did something bad." "Huh, if you get into debt, you have to say goodbye? That sounds lonely." I wished Mia wouldn't fill Emily's head with such ideas, but I couldn't find the words. Taking advantage of the silence from me and my parents, Mia continued to speak her mind. "So, you know I've been a stay-at-home wife all this time, right? So, since I can't live on my own after the divorce, can I stay here? She proposed this without consulting anyone in the family, which was quite abrupt. I couldn't stay silent at that. Wait, what are you saying? We have our own family here, you can't just decide something like that. I said that and refused Mia's proposal. However, just then, Harry returned from work and chimed in. What's the problem? Helping out when someone's in trouble is what families do, right? Harry, who had quit his job around the time John was born, has been hopping from job to job but somehow managing to work for the past 3 years. Seeing Harry, Emily, who adores her dad, ran to him immediately.
Ah, Daddy's home.
Hey, Emily, it's lively today with Aunt Mia visiting. You'd be happy if every day was this fun, right? Harry said, glancing at Mia. Emily happily agreed.
Yeah. Daddy.
Harry, don't say things like that to Emily. Why not? It's my sister who's come home. What's the problem? Mia, seizing the moment, joined in. Exactly, sis. It's strange for you to be the only one against me when even Harry is welcoming me with open arms. Yeah, it's strange, Mom. It seemed like she was getting swept up in Harry and Mia's pace. Looking for some support, I turned to my parents, but my dad, despite looking displeased, resignedly said, well, it can't be helped. At least until she finds a job. That's right. She has nowhere else to go. Let's let her stay with us.
Wow, thank you. Dad, Mom.
I thought to myself how overly indulgent my parents were with Mia, but I couldn't say anything more. Ever since we were kids, whenever I tried to speak up in situations like this, I was told, you're the older sister, you need to be patient. Well, hopefully, she'll find a job and move out soon. Thinking this, I tried to smooth things over for now. However, the situation took a turn for the worse. Mia never looked for a job and started freeloading at our house. She would eat stuff from the fridge without asking and use my things as she pleased. My parents didn't say anything to her, just watched quietly. I couldn't take it anymore and suggested to Harry that maybe we should move out. But Harry didn't seem keen on the idea and frowned. Why? Is it really such a bother to have my sister around? It's not that, but aren't you uncomfortable? Your sister-in-law is living with us indefinitely, doesn't that bother you? I tried to say it as considerately as I could, but Harry just got even more upset.
I never said that. Don't drag me into this.
He yelled, slammed the door, and left the room. There was no need for him to get so angry. Tears came to my eyes as the hurt built up. Since then, Harry stopped talking to me altogether and started sleeping in a different room. I knew something had to be done, so I thought about apologizing, but Harry started coming home late every night, often drunk, leaving no chance to talk. Mia also started staying out late. Maybe it's just me, but she seemed to be dressing in more designer's clothes than ever. She doesn't seem to be working, and I wonder if she realizes she's overstaying her welcome. This situation isn't good for Mia either. I thought about talking to Mike, so I discussed it with my parents. But they said, we were concerned too, so we tried contacting Mike, but we can't get through to him at all. We even went to his house, but it seems like he's never there. Mike is gone. I can't help but think this has something to do with the debt. Maybe he disappeared because he couldn't handle the money situation anymore. But if that's the case, it's strange for Mia to be so carefree and out having fun. While I was pondering this alone, Emily suddenly came up to me with a tearful face. Mom, please divorce Dad.
What? What happened?
I couldn't believe what she just said. But I decided to stay calm and ask her. Emily, calm down. Tell Mom what happened. I asked gently, but she said something even more shocking. Dad got into debt, just like Uncle Mike. Aunt Mia told me. What? Debt. Emily, when did Aunt Mia tell you this? I heard Dad and Aunt Mia talking in the spare room. Lately, Harry has been spending a lot of time in the spare room. Was Mia with him there? What's going on between those two? I thought about asking one of them, but unfortunately, Emily said they had both gone out. And they were still not back by dinner time, so I decided to stay up late and confront them, but they never returned. The next morning, I went into the spare room where Harry usually sleeps. I was looking for any evidence of debt. When I checked the dresser, I found open dunning letters hidden away. According to them, a bank loan hadn't been paid for several months. The amount was as much as $70,000. Why did Harry get into so much debt? Looking closer, I found dozens of receipts in the back of the drawer. They were all from high-end designers' stores. Harry isn't interested in designers' items, so why? He's never bought anything luxurious for me. Then, it clicked when I saw the names on some of the receipts. It was the high-end designers' clothes that Mia has been wearing a lot lately. I was thinking it must be from that store. Meaning, Harry did this for Mia, when suddenly Harry and Mia came back. I headed straight to the entrance to confront Harry. Seeing my angry face, Harry looked like he wanted to say, "What happened?"
Harry! What is this all about?
I demanded, thrusting the dunning letters at him. Harry started to act all flustered after seeing them. How did you find that?" Harry stammered, his eyes darting around. Probably trying to think of a good excuse. Then, as if to throw him a lifeline, Mia chimed in. "It's no big deal. There's a saying that debt is a man's proof of his earnestness. Nice try. And yet, you left your husband over his debts." I shot back at Mia, refusing to be outdone. Into this tense atmosphere wandered Emily, muttering sleepily. "Dad got into debt for Aunt Mia, right?" "What? What did you just say?" It was hard to catch the soft words, but I definitely heard that Harry got into debt for Mia. Their suddenly pale faces were evidence enough. "Emily, what are you talking about? That's not possible." "Yeah. Why would Dad get into debt for me?" The two of them scrambled to cover up, but their panic was proof enough of their deceit. Yet, Harry started with a desperate excuse. "Anyway, that dunning letter, you see, it's for a car loan." "Lisa, you've been saying you wanted a car, haven't you?"
Oh, so it's a loan for me? Without consulting me? And you borrowed so much you couldn't pay it back. What kind of car were you planning to buy?
Harry's forehead was streaming with sweat as he struggled to answer my question. He desperately tried to make excuses. "So, I was planning to surprise Lisa by splurging on a foreign car. That's how much I love you, I was willing to stretch ourselves." Using the word love so insincerely at a time like this. Those were words I had wanted to hear more naturally, and now they just made me angry. At Harry's words, Emily asked with a puzzled look. "But Dad, you married Mom because, she makes a lot of money, but you actually dislike her, right? You told Aunt Mia that, didn't you?" Harry shook his head vigorously at Emily's question. "What are you talking about? That's not true at all." "No, I heard it clearly. Dad loves Aunt Mia." Her statement seemed to be the final blow. Putting together what John had said, it was clear Harry got into debt for Mia. It was about time to produce the evidence. Well, that explains all these receipts for luxury goods. Saying that, I slammed the hidden receipts down on the table. Harry's eyes widened in shock.
"You found these?"
"These are from the brands Mia is wearing now, right?" At my question, Harry just looked frustrated. Maybe he thought no one would hear them in the secluded spare room, letting their guard down when it was just the two of them. But Emily, being just 5 and wandering to the bathroom at night, must have been curious about the voices she heard. Kids' memories can be surprisingly accurate. Mia, seemingly resigned or defiant, blurted out. "Yes. Harry married you because you are a teacher and makes good money. But the one Harry really loves is me. He was willing to go into debt to buy me what I love. Look at those receipts closely. Some of them are already 3 years old, right?" Mia suddenly showed an arrogant attitude. "It turns out, they've been having an affair for 3 years. I was so angry I blurted out. Mia, you have a husband, yet you're having an affair with my husband, your sister's husband, and you think this is just going to slide? My clenched fists were trembling. But I couldn't keep arguing in front of John. Mia, thinking I was going to attack, clung to Harry. It's not the kind of thing a father should be showing his daughter. Anyway, I can't raise Emily in this environment. With that, I quickly packed our things, took Emily, and left. But it wasn't an admission of defeat. I was just retreating for now, to get back at them someday. Afterward, I explained the situation to my school and got into the teacher's housing. It's a small and old building, but life with John there is fulfilling and fun. My fellow teachers, saying we're here for each other, took turns looking after John, and I felt a warmth I hadn't felt in a while. Still, Emily, who loves his dad, sometimes looks lonely.
Emily, I'm sorry. You miss Dad, don't you?
Yeah, but it's okay. Everyone here is nice and it's fun. She tries to smile. But it's not her full smile. Making such a small child worry like this, I feel like a failure as a parent. Maybe instead of thinking about revenge, it would be better to talk things over again? For Emily's sake, I need to be a calm parent. Then one day, while out with John, someone called out from behind.
Lisa! It is you, Lisa, right?
It was Mike.
Mike? My parents tried contacting you so many times, everyone was worried.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. It's just that. Mike looked apologetic as he explained. Turns out, the debt was indeed for Mia. Mia was recklessly buying brand items with her credit card despite not having money. Before she knew it, it had amounted to hundreds of thousands of dollars, and she couldn't make the payments. Yet, Mia just left it unpaid. Seeing no other choice, Mike ended up paying for her. But Mia, misunderstanding that Mike would always bail her out, continued her extravagant spending. As a result, Mike had to get into debt under his own name because repayments were not manageable anymore. That means the debt was created by Mia. I confronted him, asking why he didn't warn her, but Mike said he couldn't help it because he still loved Mia. However, he couldn't bear her excessive spending anymore. I was really troubled, but I couldn't do anything more, so I left the house and left Mia behind. Then, I canceled my cell phone so I couldn't be contacted. Hearing this, I felt terrible for Mike as Mia's sister. It seemed impossible to mend the relationship between Mike and Mia. Mike had genuinely loved Mia, and for his sake, I wanted to properly conclude things. This whole mess was Mia's fault. And now, Mia was clinging to Harry. Wait, why did Mia start seeing Harry? Mia, who only seems interested in money, perhaps. She's under some misconception about Harry. That gave me an idea. I came up with a plan and first told Mike about Mia's current situation. After sharing Mia's current situation with Mike, he was shocked to learn about her affair with Harry but promised to help with my plan. Then, I returned to my parents' house. I left Emily with my parents and first checked our bedroom. Fortunately, it was untouched, so I started my plan right away. First, I took out something from the dresser. What would Mia say once she sees this? And then I waited for Harry and Mia to return home. They often go out late at night together. My parents told them it was their fault I left, but it seems they didn't care. Considering everything, even for John's sake, there's no need to show Harry any mercy. As expected, Harry came back late at night, arm in arm with Mia. Fortunately, Emily was already asleep, sparing her the sight of her father in such a state. Upon seeing me, Harry dropped Mia's arm in surprise. Lisa, why are you here? Well, this is my parents' house, so it's not strange for me to be here, is it? But you left angry with us. But you left because you were mad at us. Us. Mia seemed to feel no guilt about being in a good relationship with Harry. Angered by her words, I slammed that certain item on the table with force, startling Mia. What is this all about, suddenly? Take a good look, I said, smirking, as I showed them more than 50 of Harry's pay stubs. each set of 10 bearing a different company's name. It was clear evidence of Harry's frequent job changes. Mia, checking each one, panicked.
What's this? All of these paychecks are so low. Where are the bonuses? There aren't any bonus stubs?
Of course not. Harry hasn't stayed at a job for more than a year. Plus, because he can't do anything, he always earns a starting salary no matter where he gets rehired. As Mia's face turned paler with each fact revealed, Harry looked increasingly uncomfortable. Yet, Mia showed no mercy and grabbed Harry by the collar. What's this? You said you had a stable job with a good income. That's why I kept asking for things. Why did you lie? It was as I suspected. Mia had turned to Harry, thinking he was stable financially, after Mike's earnings weren't enough for her. Probably, Harry had boasted about his salary to impress her. In fact, Harry had never contributed his own earnings to living expenses. I could picture him withdrawing his entire paycheck, stuffing it in his wallet, and boasting in front of Mia, "I'm rich." I asked Harry, who was avoiding everyone's gaze and staying silent. "Harry, don't you feel sorry for Emily? You haven't contributed a single penny to the house and have been splurging on Mia." Well, Harry seemed to think of Emily and showed a face filled with self-loathing. But that wasn't enough for forgiveness. No matter how much he tried as a hands-on dad, I wished he had used the money he earned for his family. You lack the awareness of being a father. Spending money only on what you like and even creating debts, do you have a plan to repay them? Pressing him, Harry mumbled his answer. I thought, maybe you would be there if things got tough. What? You were planning to dump your debts on me? I was dumbfounded. So, he was seeing Mia while relying on my earnings. Because you've always helped me out before.
That's enough. I hate both you.
Mia, losing her patience with Harry's weak responses, suddenly yelled out.
I don't see any point in staying here anymore. Harry is broke, and you are too nosy, so I'm going back to Mike.
Mia, tears streaming down her face, attempted to leave the house. Then, a man walked in. It was Mike, who had been waiting outside. He stared Mia down and said, Mia, I'm sorry, but you no longer have a place to come back to. I'm going to give up the apartment. What do you mean? I managed to repay the debt. But no matter how much I help, you keep spending recklessly. I can't do this anymore. I want a divorce and to cut ties quickly. Faced with the word divorce, Mia's face went pale. After more than 10 years of marriage, continuing to splurge and now having an affair with her sister's husband. Even someone as foolish as her should realize her current predicament. Facing economic hardships caused by her and now being caught cheating would obviously mean a hefty alimony. In panic, Mia started sweet-talking Mike, trying to cling to him. Hey, Mike. I'm sorry for everything, so please forgive me. I'll start doing the housework seriously from now on. Let's start over, please. Despite being my sister, it was a pitiful sight. But no matter how much she pleaded, there was no way Mike would nod in agreement. Instead, he pulled out the divorce papers he had prepared and demanded Mia to sign them. However, she refused and called for help from our parents.
Mom, Dad, please. Come here.
It was always like this since she was little. Whenever there was trouble, she'd immediately turn to our parents. But when our parents showed up, they had displeased looks on their faces. What's the matter, Mia? You're being too loud in the middle of the night. If you shout like that, Emily will wake up. But Mike wants a divorce. If I'm kicked out of my current home, this is the only place I have to go. So, I can stay here forever, right? Mia, she still thinks our parents will give in to her every whim if she plays the spoiled child. But even our dad, who had always been lenient with Mia, said sternly. We've been listening. Mia, don't you feel any remorse for troubling Mike, who has been so good to you? That's right, Mia. Maybe we, your parents, were too indulgent. But you're old enough now.
You can't expect to be spoiled forever.
Even our gentle mother seemed determined not to show Mia any leniency this time. Mia, rejected by the parents she had relied on, had tears in her eyes. Dad, no longer swayed by such tears, then turned his glare towards Harry.
And Harry, I've been too lenient until now, but no more. You don't contribute financially and have dared to mess with your wife's sister. A man like that is no longer welcome in this house. Divorce Lisa and get out.
Oh no. Harry was completely intimidated by my father's force. If Harry was thrown out of this house, he'd have nowhere to go. On top of that, he was burdened with debt, making it hard to find a new place. Knowing his predicament, he suddenly began to beg for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry. From now on, I'll work sincerely and pay off the debt quickly. Please, just overlook it this time. Despite his plea, there was no one left to support Harry. Then, perhaps awakened by the commotion, Emily came in. Seeing him, Harry raised his head and said to her, "Emily, you love your dad, right? So, if Dad was gone from this house, you'd be lonely, wouldn't you?" She didn't nod even when asked that. Probably, she had heard everything everyone had been talking about until now. She suddenly raised his voice in anger.
I don't care if Dad's not here. I hate Dad anyway.
Emily. Harry seemed truly shocked to be rejected by her, who he thought was his only ally. And he crumpled to the floor, speechless. Mia and Harry, seemingly resigned, agreed to the divorce, and Mike and I decided to demand compensation from both of them. My parents said Mia should pay back Mike for all the money she wasted, but Mike kindly declined. Finally, it looked like John and I could return to our home as the two of them were leaving. After the divorce, Harry paid us and Mike a lump sum in alimony, which increased his debt even more. He ended up staying with a friend for a while since it's hard to stay long in someone else's home. Eventually, he moved into an apartment where he could barely afford the rent while paying off his debts. Mia, too, lost her place to live after the divorce and had been hopping from friend to friend. Mia, too, lost her place to live after the divorce and had been hopping from friend to friend. When she found out Harry started living alone, she immediately moved in. Blaming him for being dumped by Mike and demanding, "You need to do something about it." I was fed up with being updated on such matters without even asking. Despite knowing Harry had no money, she was still trying to make him take responsibility. Well, maybe she had nowhere else to go and reluctantly moved in with him. Then Harry called me. "Lisa, help me. I want to cut ties with Mia, but she won't leave me alone. She even steals money from my wallet when I'm not looking. What should I do now?" Annoyed by Harry's plea, I replied dismissively. "Oh, that's great for you. Even an unreliable man like you has someone who depends on him. Well, I'm busy, so bye." I quickly ended the call after delivering my message. Until the very end, I heard him saying, "Wait, just a minute," but I completely ignored it. My parents also said they wanted nothing to do with Mia's affairs anymore. Of course, I felt the same. Now, I'm happily living with Emily and my parents at home. Working as a teacher while living at home, maybe I didn't need to take the alimony from Harry, who was already broke. The money I received from Harry is being used as important child support for Emily. Actually, if we were going to divorce, I wanted to cut ties completely, so I decided not to receive monthly child support. Even though he's not much of a man, Harry is still John's father. That's why, for the last time, I wanted him to fulfill his responsibility as a father by paying a lump sum. Mike has been living at his parents' house since the divorce. His parents never liked Mia, and they seem relieved that their son divorced such an unpleasant wife. We still keep in touch with Mike and his parents, thanks to our former family connection. Today is Emily's 6th birthday. We're celebrating it big at our house. For the party, we invited neighborhood friends, and as an apology for the trouble with Mia, we also invited Mike and his parents. Emily says she has something she wants to share with everyone now that he's about to start elementary school. so she'll announce it at the party. I'm looking forward to hearing what she has to say, and on the day, she stands in front of everyone with a sheet of paper. Everyone, listen. I'm going to read the essay I wrote. The room falls silent. She opens the paper and begins to read in a clear voice.
I'm going to be an elementary school student soon, so I thought about what I want to be when I grow up. I love my mom. So, when I grow up, I want to be a school teacher like her.
Emily's first essay. I felt tears welling up as she read. After finishing, there was a huge round of applause, and Emily smiled shyly. My mom put her hand on my shoulder and said,
Emily is growing up well, watching her mother's back.
Those words made me incredibly happy. Even though his father is gone, I'm sure John will grow up to be a good person. My mom's words made me feel lighter, thinking that way. Life and parenting still have many challenges ahead. But I'm determined to live strongly as a mother, supporting and being supported by Emily and those around us.